Good morning from sunny Florida. My name is Eileen Lee, and in my day job, I am part of a product team that runs a suite of products that are worth almost $500 million at a healthcare technology company that's growing in the double-digit percentages year over year. And I thought it would be entertaining and funny to try and start up my own small business and keep a record of what happened and just sort of entertain myself and everyone I know. Well, so far it has really panned out. I think I've made just about every mistake you can possibly make. And I'm going to document all of that for you so that you can learn from those mistakes and maybe not make the same ones. And let's see if we can take a high-level skill set that deals with hundreds of thousands of regular daily users and apply it to basically nothing. Okay, so one of the first things I had to do was to find a product to sell. In product, we generally say start with what you know and what you think you have an exceptional and differentiated knowledge about in a specific niche industry or area. So I jumped right on healthcare technology. Dude, I'm an expert in healthcare technology. I've done this for over 20 years. This turned out to, of course, be a phenomenal mistake because, honestly, anything you would want to know or pay for with healthcare technology and strategy, that's owned by my current employer. And I would never jeopardize that product set in order to just do some silly project on the side. But whatever, I made a commitment. So I decided that I'd do some healthcare insights videos. And that would be a great way for me to share knowledge I have with a particularly niche industry, and I could leverage some of my expertise to get interest. Turns out I have a face for radio, and also I don't know anything about taking videos or editing videos, and that shows through right away in the first content that I create. But there was some positives to the choice I'd made. The first is that it really cost me almost nothing to get started. And since my budget was nothing, that fit right exactly inside the budget. Okay, so check and check. I was able to find a product that leveraged my already well-established reputation in healthcare technology, which hopefully I had not overestimated. And it fit within my budget, which again was near $0. And I even had a differentiator. I have a background in healthcare IT. That IT portion of it meant that I should be able to handle a lot of the technology myself and wouldn't need to hire people to help me or advise me. Not that I would anyway. Okay, so now I needed a place to build my content. So this is where the magic happens. Pay no attention to the fact that this is both my laundry room and my garage. I have a green screen, which I bought for myself for Christmas. It works really well. Also have some nice lighting. I got this entire setup for less than $100 on Amazon and had it delivered to the house. It's basically just clipped onto the edges of the old garage. And some things I learned about this after having done a few videos in front of it. You see these curves that are going through the green screen. You want to get rid of those because everywhere that the color gets darker, you're going to have a lot of trouble down the line trying to change the chrome and remove the green. Just think of that as a little extra tip for me. I also found and stole from my kids' room this lovely iPhone stand, which is all adjustable. Thank you, Jack. And there you go. How professional does this look? If your answer is not very, then you would be right. Don't worry. What I lacked in video making expertise, I made up for in long, boring, too slow content about healthcare technology, which so many people are really interested in. Note to self, try and find some things that people are actually interested in healthcare technology. I wanted to do some drawings behind me on the screen about how healthcare technology works in my videos, so I used my Dell laptop that has a stylus. Already had this available. Took me a bunch of renditions to figure out what tool I could use to record a screen that I was drawing on, but in the end I came up with something pretty ingenious. If you start a Zoom meeting and you turn on the recording and turn off your sound and you draw on the screen, you can get a pretty good recording. The video is really big though, so keep that in mind. Also, once you have a video recording in Zoom, it's important to go into your files and documents, and you're gonna have to convert it because Zoom doesn't quite do the conversion for you in your in their playbacks. So you'll want to go and find your Zoom videos and click on them, and then a conversion process will start. They come out as MP4 videos. So then I needed a product that I could use to layer my videos and remove the green screens, and I found that in a product called Kinemaster, which you can find in your app store and download to your cell phone. Kinemaster is a great little app for your iPhone that allows you to import your videos, layer them, and remove the green screen. Perfect. Then I sent the videos to myself on my phone through Google Drive. I uploaded the videos into Google Drive, downloaded the Google Drive app on my phone, and I was able to save them to my photos list. Again, the videos are huge, especially of the drawing in the background on the Zoom meetings. So that took me a really long time to deal with those videos, and I'm sure that there's a much better solution out there in the marketplace. But again, it wasn't free. Next, I needed a place to actually sell my videos. So I typed in, as any professional would do, sell my videos online. I looked through all of the options I had available, and none of them were free. But then I found this great little tool, which I think is actually headquartered in the UK, which made for some interesting choices, called FlickRocket. Sell videos, downloads, PDFs, EPUBs. They have a framework for doing that for you. Excellent. I was able to create a FlickRocket site pretty quickly. They have everything that you would need, including integration with payment solutions. This is what FlickRocket looks like. As you can see, I'm really killing it with my 36 visitors and 0 sales. So for what they lack in being in the US and also in controls around their payment acceptance gateways for when you pay for additional add-ons, they make up for in an extremely simple template for adding your product. So I uploaded my videos and some little thumbnails for the videos. I set up my different pricing levels, and at this point I began to realize that if I was going to sell something, I was going to need a way to take people's credit cards and payments, because that would be like kind of a foundational part of creating a product that you're selling on the internet. One thing that my professional career has taught me and that I can leverage is that you need to make a lot of decisions. Some of those decisions will be good and some will be bad, but every time you reach a decision point, simply weigh the pros and cons and make the best decision that you can. When setting up the FlickRocket website, there was a question about whether or not I wanted FlickRocket to own all of my content and resell it for me, or if I wanted to set up my own payment gateway and retain ownership of my own content. Well, as we all know, my content's probably not worth a whole lot yet, but there ain't no way I'm going to give away ownership of my content. So at that point, I decided I needed to ensure I got my own payment gateway set up, no matter how difficult that process was. My first gateway I chose was WorldPay. That turned out to be completely unmanageable and ununderstandable, even for somebody who has worked in healthcare payments for over 10 years. But I happened to know some of the guys at Stripe, so I was like, let's set up a Stripe account. So Stripe became my payment gateway. It's 100% free to start, and it only took one night for them to verify me and set up my merchant account. Then I was able to easily tie that back into my FlickRocket account, which made setting up my products and selling them so much easier. FlickRocket has a bunch of sort of awesome pre-made websites that you can use. I also decided to really splurge here and spend the 99 cents per month to get the healthcare.flickrocket.com domain instead of just a number.flickrocket.com domain. You can also register your own domain and have it pointed to the FlickRocket website. And that is free on the FlickRocket side, but you'll also need to do domain hosting on the domain host. Again, they've got some great search engine optimization, setup information, and just basic headers and tags. I set up a Google Analytics account, so I entered my Google Analytics tracking ID and the HTML for that in the header. And then I went ahead and published my healthcare.flickrocket.com webpage. I went through a few of their different colors. It was a little tricky, but I found one that worked for me. And I think it looks really nice. So the first few steps are done. Find a product that is an extension off of something you already know or have. Done. Set a budget and stay within that budget. That was great. And also make sure that you can find something that you have differentiators for. So I picked something that was kind of in the healthcare IT space and leveraged my knowledge of payments. So check, check, check. Unfortunately, I had some gaps. You gotta understand and accept those gaps. I know nothing about videos. I'm not at all the kind of person that people want to see on videos. So gonna have to figure out whether or not those gaps are overcomable or if I'm gonna have to pivot. Plus, I picked a product that the things that people would really want to buy, my current day job has already bought. So I gotta figure out if there's a way I can make that work, or again, if I'm gonna have to pivot. I found some tools that were within my budget. They required a lot more work for me to get them to come together, but that's okay. I have plenty of time sitting on the couch watching TV at night. It's not like I live this glamorous life that doesn't allow me to do that. And the next step is for me as a product manager to identify what my goals are. And I think at this point, the goals are to understand more about the market and clients and what they want. Because in the beginning, everything in product is just an opinion until you start putting together data to prove and make educated choices on what to do next. And I need to up my market awareness. So those are my two, what we call key performance indicators for the next version of this solution that I'm going to try and sell on my own.